I'm going to talk about what I did with the money. Someone sent me some money for recovering. You have heard about how bad they treat me in a hospital here in Sweden, and it can be the effect for what happened in Israel also, what's going on. That I want to repeat it so you that have not listened at that episode will know what it is about. That when I come to the emergency room, they were treating me very strange. They were suspicion about what I did in the emergency room, and I didn't understood it, and I didn't get much treatment there. I didn't get so much answer, and they say at least I didn't have the coronavirus, but I had influenza, not really the flu, the more harder flu, and it's still going on in my body. I am almost healed, but when I lay down in my bed and try to sleep, I have sounds, loudly sounds inside my body from bones that is like squeezing around, and the sound be very loudly inside my body. I have tried to record the sound, but it is inside me. I hear it because in the recording it's not so loudly. So I suppose I will have this squeezing of the bone inside my body for some weeks, but I am not so much, have not much flu anymore. I try to live a healthy life and rest as much as I can when I have this illness that I got on my way back from Israel in January 3. So I think it's have going very fast to recovering. So my body is good to recovering. But this doctor I met at the emergency room, he'll look up something negative about me. He must have wanted to have some negative about me, because he had to go down to 2009 for it's 14 years now. And there was a doctor I met that was crazy. He said that I was mental sick, and he wrote it in papers. And I told the manager about him that he can't write like that in my papers. But she told him, and he took back a little of what he had written, but there was still a note that I should be mental sick. And then as I didn't get any real help from the manager for the health clinic, then I reported it to those that look at hospital and how they treat us. It's an organization that is over this with health care and see what's going on. And so they find out that that doctor, he was not a doctor. He had no legitimation. But it is like, today is it that for, not today, but for in maybe 50, 20 years, have it be like that the hospital, when they don't have their own doctors, they can rent a doctor to come and be in their clinic as long as they need someone there. And this man was someone they bring in for a short time for their clinic. And when they look at it, who he was from Denmark, and he had been hired for a short time in this clinic because and they find out that he was not a doctor. He had no legitimation. He had nothing. He was only an ordinary man, crazy ordinary man, that's it, and got very much money of be a doctor, pretending to be a doctor, and I think he did much money to give out very much drugs, and that's why he was there. And that is so crazy that the doctor in emergency room 14 years later can pick up it again. And he wrote that he don't understand why I have not been treated for my mental sickness in those years. And if he had asked me why it was like that, I should tell him that he was not a real doctor. So I told him that he was not right. He was not a doctor. So why should I be treated mental sick when there was not a real doctor that have said that? And he was only an ordinary doctor, someone that can write out medicines, drugs to people. But he was not about mental sick people. So that was also wrong. He couldn't say that. It must be a specialist that look at me and say that I was crazy. And so it will take time to talk to the hospital about this, what the doctor have done to me in the emergency room. And that make, now when I want to have doctors looking at me, because it is before the corona come that I got a new medicine about my blood pressure and those almost normal medicine we need to take when we are going older with blood pressure and diabetes and these things. And so I wanted the doctor to check out and give me the medicine I need to have today. That's it's very important to do it. And for the first time, I have to write that they were not allowed to look in my health report. He did that to me, the last doctor I was to, that he make me not could have an open health report. I have to, if they want to know why, then I tell them what have happened and that it's an investigation that is going on. So that is not truth what is said in my health report. And I think this is what will be 2023, that it will be a war between good and evil, and it will be so clearly showing us what's going on, because for some years now the devil, he have not been shy, he have not been frightened, so he have could openly talking and do bad things. You can see that in the news and in the fashions industry, for example, how bad things are, how men is going to be women and women be men in those clothes they do to people to buy, and there on our television is it women that is like a man, look like a man, and these things because they think, the devil think it's okay. There is no one that is against evil things anymore. And lots of people with tattoos and makeup on men that is evil things, and everything is open now. And that's, we will see that 2023 when everything is cut off from God, that they will change everything. So this bad things is going away after 2023. We are in a peak now. We are in a peak of many bad things about taking our money, for example. It's in this Western world that we have to pay so much for electricity, for example, and for food, and they have told us already that we should store up, and some of you maybe did that, so that's good. I have stored up, and my oldest food it lasts till at least 2024, and I do like that when I see cheap food. Then I buy it, and then I hold back that food I store. I don't need to eat it now. I eat what I see is a good price for it, and then sometimes I take this stored food also, but I just now I don't have anything that expired 2023. They have already. They have already warning us about this time we are in now. And it is like that when they ask when Messiah will come, and they can say exactly the date, the year. It's many things that is depended on it. It's many things that have to come together and showing up. So we are in a bad year now. So be very careful and store things up that you know you need, because it's going to rise. The price will rise even more on things we need to have to survive. So that's what they still are saying. If you find things that have a good price, buy it, but not buy only one. Buy for a long time to have it at home. I have very much candles at home. I'm not good into to burn candles, but that's a good thing to do to save on electricity. I'm glad that I bought a really big bag full of candles. So that's what I use in the evenings. And I am going to tell what I bought for someone was sending me money, and it was about the health care to find could pay a doctor somewhere to get a better treatment. But that's very much money, and I am going to save that money, but I did some health thing. I bought something I needed for my health, and that was that I bought a walker from that money you send me, because I'm going to have that walker, and I'm going to walk around my house and maybe a little longer distance around my area, because if I feel my brain start to be tired, then I can go home. I can't walk away very far away, because the brain start very fast to be drained out. So I have to return home with a walker. But I need to. I noticed that in Jerusalem that when I was walking, I walking very bad. But it was not my legs, it was the brain that was bad. So I have to walk around and train my legs and train my brain. And then longer distance that to go out in a forest, then I take my scooter. And then if I need to go on the other side of the city or to another city, I have the taxi also. So it starts to be good in how to move around. And I think that God is going on with the healing. It is so I be touched of spirits that is here, and I see this spirit that are coming through, and it's a woman, and she have white clothes, a little white, yellow, long clothes like they have in heaven, and she is coming through, and I will see what she want to tell us. She say that to us. She say that to you. She say it to me, and she say, you don't need to suffering anymore. She say, and I ask her if that we don't need to suffering, is it for me or is it for all people that listen? And she say it's for us all. You also that listen. You don't need to suffering anymore, she's saying. And she hold this, her hand, like you have seen in picture Jesus is doing, holding his hand in the air to people, to us. And she do the same. And she's showing a car. She's showing me a car, a black car. She said that to you, that you should not be worried about your car, the car, or someone else's car. It's not important. It's not important, she said, because it's will be taken care of. It's more about you and your life that is not right for you to do what you do with that car, she said. It's a warning about this car. It's damage of the car, or is it maybe is it both, because she said to get payment to pay off that car. It's not important because it's gonna be taken care of itself in that way, that money will come in to you for the car to be taken care of. I'm not so much into cars, but she is talking about this. It's not me talking. I like car, but not into money. I have this DNA that my father loved cars. And my brother loved cars also, and so it has been for me also that I love real expensive car. I admit it, but I am okay with ordinary car also, because it's about to go forward. The cars help us to come to places far away. And it doesn't matter what kind of car it is, as long as it sends us from one spot to another. But in the same time, I love real expensive cars, nice cars where people look at it in the same time. She say France. She's saying France. And now she's showing me a road that we don't have them so much here in Sweden. So that can be in France. It is like curves around a mountain, a high up mountain, and then when you drive down, you drive around the mountain until you reach the ground. Separating those that we see very often in movies from France, and sometimes from Italy also. She's showing that you live there. You love to drive around in those mountains, only for it's exciting, as the roads are very narrow, very slim, so it's dangerous, and you like to live in dangerous, and that is not good in this year, in this time. It's a warning from heaven that you should not do this about hold in the dangerous things to live your life in dangerous for this year. Other years you can do that, but this year, 2023, she is saying that this woman, and she said it's a special year, this 2023, and you should not challenge. You should not challenge the future and see if you can survive and if you can do those things that is dangerous. You should not challenge your destiny, and it can be very bad. So this year is a year that to think deeper about what you are doing. That is a warning here for you that listen, both men and women, in any age and where you are in the world, because this is a year when so little can cause all the problems. So you have to be wise this special year. That's I have felt that I need to open up so they can tell you this about the year 2023. Is when many people is going away from Earth. And I don't want you to be one of them. I want you to stay with me and see heaven coming down all over this planet. So it was what the chapter, this episode should be about, the warning that you have got now. So thank you for listening, and we'll see next time when they want to talk.